Hey guys, Aaron Cybertron Zeng here, and today I'm back with another episode of Road to Rank where I climb the online VGC 20 ladder and provide live commentary as I go. Been using the team that I brought to Dallas Regionals for the last 2 episodes. I think I'll play one today and one more with it tomorrow, and then we'll switch to a couple of the teams that did really well at the Dallas Regional Championships. So hopefully you guys have enjoyed watching me play with this team. It's been a lot of fun using it, and yeah, let's just jump into today's episode. What the heck are we up against here? There's a Bewear. There is a Delmise, a Sableye, a Torkoal, a Togekiss, and a Mimikyu. So, I mean, I guess it's a Trick Room team. But, what is going on here? Okay. So, how do we want to approach this? I don't even know what the bear does, to be honest. So, I'm expecting to get wrecked by that. Have to worry about Sableye with Quash. And normally against Trick Room, I want to bring Snorlax and Belly Drum up, but it might be a little bit harder to do in this game. Although I guess theoretically we could go Togekiss Snorlax as a lead here. There's so many ways we could play this, and in best of one, I'm honestly not sure. I mean, we've got Taunt on Whimsicott as well, but have to worry about getting faked out by the Sableye immediately. I mean, that's definitely a Trick Room composition coming our way. I kind of like Togekiss Snorlax. I haven't been able to use Snorlax very much with this team on Road to Rank yet, and I kind of want to feature why I have it on this team in the first place. We're definitely going to want Rotom. It's got really good coverage here. And probably Conkeldurr as the last one. I mean, I put Taunt on Whimsicott specifically to give me a better matchup against things like Trick Room. And we could taunt the Mimikyu here, but I think I'm going to go with this other mode of the team and see how it goes. We do have to watch out about the Sableye for 2 reasons, because 1, obviously it can priority Will-O-Wisp, and 2, it can Quash, and 3, it can Foul Play Snorlax if it's boosted up. So a bunch of things to worry about, but I don't mind even if we lose this. Like, that's a really cool team on my opponent's end, and I want to see what comes out. So we're going to get into this episode. As always, if you guys enjoy, please show support by leaving a like in the video. I'd appreciate it. And it's Bewear! Oh, it comes out. Wow, okay. And it's got on Nerve, which I actually forgot about. So perhaps we actually don't attack with Snorlax and we just Dynamax Togekiss in this matchup then, because my opponent's not really going the Trick Room out. I'm leaning towards honestly just Dynamaxing, Max Airstreaming, and maybe we conserve Snorlax for later. Could even bring in something like Conkeldurr. I mean, Rotom's slightly better, but I don't want to bring in Rotom for free right now, and Conkeldurr's not as important in this matchup, so yeah, my first time playing up against the bear here, honestly, and Unnerve is a really good ability, especially against berries, obviously. So I expect it to Dynamax, to be honest. I just don't know really what it does. I haven't seen this Pokemon since the beginning of, like, X and Y. Also, question of the day, like I mentioned, we're getting really close to 100k subs, and we'll probably hit it sometime in the next week. So, question of the day, I want to let you know if you guys have any ideas on how we can celebrate it on this channel, what video ideas you'd like to see as a celebration. Definitely let me know in the comments below. Alright, let's see if it's the bear Dynamaxing or if it's just Togekiss Dynamaxing. If it's just Togekiss, that's fine, because my Togekiss is pretty speedy, so we often outspeed opposing Togekiss. And it is Bewear Dynamaxing! Oh my goodness. What if it's like weakness policy? I mean, it gets like a poison type attack, I'm sure, so I can probably hit my Togekiss for super effective damage too. But there's no follow me, so if we just crit this Airstream, that might just go bye-bye. That looks like a Salvest though, given how well it took that. Yeah. Okay. So, Assault Vest, Bewear. Dazzling, okay. I mean, Conkeldurr takes a fair amount of damage from that. Max Steel Spike, okay. Interesting. Oh my goodness. You have to follow me here, I think. So I'm just gonna Max Airstream and Thunder Punch. If you don't follow me, then we double up on the Bewear and that probably gets a knockout. If you follow me, then we knock out the Togekiss, Conkeldurr gets another speed boost, and then we'll outpace the Bewear. Although I guess it'll be a +2 defense. Which is not very pretty. We might lose to the bear here. Man, I really just didn't know what to expect from it. But yeah, it gets Steel Spike, does a fair amount of damage. We actually could Max Guard here. That might be better, actually. I'm leaning towards that, yeah. and Thunder Punching Togekiss just to basically burn a turn of Dynamax, because I think you always have to target Togekiss here with Bewear. If my opponent makes the call and targets Conkeldurr, that's a really great read. But there's a follow me as expected. Yep. Let's see. So we'll get Thunder Punch off successfully. Let's see how much that does. Okay. And Steel Spike. Okay, good. Yeah, this just prevents us from getting completely destroyed. Now we can go for... There's no reason to Starfall here, I think, so always want to Airstream. So we'll Airstream the bear. And... Thunder Punch is still the most optimal, so we want to double up here. You mean you have to follow me to protect Bewear again here. This is so cool, though. I mean, yeah, Assault Vest is really interesting. Steel Spike getting the 2-shot on Togekiss is pretty rough, too, but I'm not super bulky on Togekiss. Like, I have less bulk than normal. So, yeah. I don't know what I would have led differently if I'm expecting Togekiss Bewear, to be honest. Snorlax could still be relevant later on in this game, but I had to switch it out earlier on, I think. So, there's the follow me. Crit here would be nice, but I guess Thunder Punch isn't doing much anyway against Bewear. So, another Max Airstream comes out, and looks like we do manage to crit this one. Nice. I would have preferred to crit the initial Max Airstream, but we take those. Oh wow, it didn't KO. I thought it KO'd. I had 1 HP left. Nice. So that's out of the way. And we're going to see a third Steel. Oh, it's actually quaking here. Huh. That is surprising to me, honestly. But I don't mind that, actually, because this gives me... I mean, our Togekiss is by far the best answer against Bewear here. So I'm kind of surprised not to see the target up into there. So it's at +1 defense and special defense, but like I said, it's probably Assault Vest. Mimikyu comes out, which is definitely interesting. But we've got 2 speed boosts, so we should be faster. Still have to worry about Trick Room, but Dynamax is now over. If we crit the Bewear, that's just definitely going down instantly. So we're at +2 speed with both Pokemon. So that +1 with both. I mean, I don't want to miss the Air Slash, which is what's scary, and I think if we crit Dazzling, we're good anyway, so I'm leaning towards just Dazzling, Gleaming, and Drain Punching the Bewear. I think that's fine. We're going to be faster than Mimikyu with the speed boost now. I don't think a Shadow Sneak is knocking out either Pokemon. If we don't crit, I guess Dazzling and Drain Punch might not knock out, but... Oh, it actually switches out. Torkoal? Okay. That's a pretty smart play. Yeah. I didn't have a way to deny Trick Room, so I think I had to go for this. If Trick Room doesn't go up here, I mean, the game is just over, but I think surely you have to set it up. But Drain Punch is still going to do a good amount to Torkoal, I think. Enough where I'm less worried about eruption damage, and then I have Snorlax and Rotom in the back. That's a really cool team for my opponent, though. Shout out to the Bear. Wow, that Torkoal takes that active champ, actually. Okay. So Trick Room goes up here, I'm sure. No, it's just play rough. Does that even knock out? No. That was surprising. I feel like you had to have Trick Room there to have a chance. I guess we could still miss our attacks here right now, though, so it's not over yet. Want a Heat Wave more because the sun is up? That can miss, though. But, I mean, we could try to double up onto the Mimikyu for a knockout here. Gotta worry about Shadow Sneak as well. So I'm gonna Rock Slide with Conkeldurr here for sure. We saw how good it can be from yesterday's episode. Yeah, I guess I don't want to risk missing because we have pretty inaccurate attacks. So let's Rock Slide and Dazzling Gleam here. Crit on Tyler would probably get the KO after Rock Slide. But Mimikyu does have Shadow Sneak, okay. I actually don't mind that, though, because if you're Shadow Sneaking, it means you're not Trick Rooming, and if you're not Trick Rooming, we've got Rotom in the back, which is really good against all of my opponent's Pokemon at this point. And a flinch here would pretty much end the game, too, I would think. So, no flinch. Torkoal's going to get the Heat Wave off, but that's fine. Okay. This is still scary, I guess. So we've seen Shadow Sneak and Play Rough. Surely that has Trick Room as well, I think. But Mimikyu isn't that great offensively. And with the sun being up, I think Sun Boosted Overheat should just knock out that Bewear. But, man, that's my first time going up against it. I think we're fine to just Thunderbolt this Torkoal here. And it actually could be worthwhile to Belly Drum just to put on more pressure against my opponent, but I suppose maybe we're just better off attacking here. A Darkest Lariat should put that Mimikyu in Thunderbolt KO range after this turn. And that actually switches out, okay. Which is interesting. I guess, yeah, it would have covered me not eating my berry there, but we should knock out Torkoal here with Thunderbolt. Yep. So really thought Trick Room was going to go up in the latter half of this game, to be honest. I'm kind of surprised it didn't. The big question now, I guess, is whether Overheat knocks out Bewear. To be honest, I'm not sure it does. And our berries are not active right now. Which is actually pretty scary. But I don't think you're knocking out Snorlax anyway. Rotom should win the 1v1 against Mimikyu. We'll be able to eat the berry as soon as we knock out Bewear. So I think I'll just double up in a Bewear here with Overheat and Double Edge. Sun boosted Overheat might knock out Assault Vest. I'm honestly not sure, but I'm going to double up here. Alright, Play Rough's going to go off on a Snorlax. That doesn't do too much. That's fine. Overheat does connect. Doesn't get the knockout. Let's see. Okay, it does. We're good. Oof. That was scary, though. Dynamax Bewear coming out. And it was honestly a pretty big threat, too. We were fortunate enough that we had the flexibility of Dynamaxing the Togekiss in this matchup, so it ended up working out. But Play Rough, Shadow Sneak. So we've seen those. I mean, we could play this a billion different ways, but I think we're free to just honestly Thunderbolt and Darkest Lariat. Yeah. Especially because we have our berries back now. Maybe we just can't knock out both Pokemon. But Dynamax Bewear, man. Yeah, I mean, Assault Vest in general is obviously just a really good item, and one of the upsides of running a Pokemon like Bewear is your opponent often just doesn't expect what we're going to do. But I feel like my opponent maybe had a better shot at this game if, one, they went for the Steel Spike onto Togekiss on the last turn of Dynamax, and two, if they set up Trick Room with Mimikyu, assuming Mimikyu has it, but I think surely you have to have Trick Room on this Mimikyu given that your team is really, really Trick Room-y. Yeah, I mean, there's a Delmise, there's a Torkoal, that just screams Trick Room, so, I don't know. Interesting that Trick Room didn't go up, but perhaps my opponent didn't want to set up Trick Room because I had the Snorlax, and that's part of the reason why Snorlax was on this team in the first place. You know, it's a really bulky Pokemon, it threatens with Belly Drum. If you are able to just Belly Drum immediately on turn 1, puts on so much pressure against your opponent. But in this game, didn't want to quite go for the Belly Drum setup because of the Bewear, you know, coming out immediately with, and we weren't able to get our berry up either, so... Very, very interesting team for our first game today. But cool team for sure. That's my first time playing that Pokemon in honestly years. Like, I still don't even know its full moveset, but Assault Vest is definitely cool. But yeah, Togekiss being faster and just being able to get consistent damage off obviously gave us a pretty good advantage in this match. So yeah. Those teams are always scary though. I mean, anytime you're staring down a Pokemon that like you've never gone up against before, it can always be really tricky because you just don't know its full moveset. Definitely didn't know that that thing got access to a Steel type attack. So, second game of the day, we're up against a really high ranked opponent, 57 actually, and they've got like a really hyper offensive team here. So Charizard, Whimsicott, Duraludon, Dracovish, Grimmsnarl, which could actually be really rough because it could spam Fake Out on Thunderwave. And then the Darmanitan. So the problem here for me is that my opponent has a team that's really similar to mine, but they have Pokemon that are just slightly faster in Charizard and probably Scarf Darmanitan. So, question is how we approach this. Taunt, I mean, I think we always lead Whimsicott, and if we could taunt our opponent, similar to yesterday's game, where our opponent DC'd after turn 1, if we could get that taunt off, that gives us a huge advantage. But the question is who I lead with. Because often I think you lead with Darmanitan or Charizard. So I'm leaning actually towards Rotom, and maybe we actually even Dynamax it. Rotom's not bad. Duraludon can one-shot things if we're able to get the Tailwind off. Togekiss is not bad for offense, honestly. I mean, Dazzling does pretty solid damage, and it is a little bit tankier. But I guess Conkeldurr might be the better pick, because if we don't get Tailwind up, or if we match Tailwinds, like, we can Drain Punch things, we can Rock Slide to knock out the Charizard, so... This matchup is really scary, though. I think anytime you're going up against another Whimsicott team with my team, things get a little tricky, especially because it often might come down to a 50-50 on turn 1 on whether you get the taunt off or not. So I expect to see Whimsicott here. So it is Whimsicott, and it's actually the Duraludon. Okay. I think we taunt Whimsicott here, but we might not... Dynamax Rotom. I think we might Dynamax our own Duraludon here, actually. Yeah, let's taunt. and Overheat Duraludon. I think you would need a Fake Tears the Rotom here in order to get the knockout with the Max Wormwind. My opponent could actually also double up onto my own Whimsicott. That wouldn't be a bad play either. I don't know. I don't like leading Whimsicott Duraludon into Whimsicott Duraludon. Like, it's not a super great matchup, and often the game is decided on turn 1, whereas here with Rotom, it covered more options. So we get the Taunt off first, though, which is really good. If we don't get doubled up here, we'll have the speed advantage, which will be amazing for us. But, wow, my opponent made the really nice play of just going on the offense. Well played. That was really good. Really, really good. Just gonna actually knock out our Whimsicott. My opponent won't be able to set up Tailwind now, but they'll be able to set it up next turn. So that was a super consistent play. So I didn't really have any ways around that, to be honest, other than going for, damage myself immediately. That's not Assault Vest Duraludon, though. So we can just knock it out with Conkeldurr, or sorry, with Duraludon here. So it might come down. I mean, like, the speeds really play a big deal right now. They're probably max speed as well, so this might just be a speed tie, which is really ugly. But that's the matchup when you have both Whimsicott and Duraludon. I'm gonna Dynamax Wormwind. I think I'm just gonna go for an Overheat here onto Whimsicott to bring it down to its Sash. Yeah. Conkeldurr could be really good for us because we have it in the back. So let's see. Whimsicott's taunted, so it's definitely Moonblasting here into Duraludon. So I think if we might need to win the speed tie here, to be honest. So maybe I shouldn't have risked it as much. And I mean, I guess I could have brought out Conkeldurr and Dynamax that, but that's not even KOing the Duraludon. We'll see if my opponent's timid too. If they're modest, we'll be able to just outspeed. But here's Moonblast. Alright, we get the Wormwind off first, so I don't know whether that was a speed tie or not, I assume so, but we take those. I think if it weren't a speed tie, you wouldn't make that play. Although I guess my opponent might expect me to be modest as well, but yeah, that's why I like running Timid, because at worst, you're always speed tying against other Duraludons. Okay, so we'll have a Dynamax advantage now. Now, Whimsicott should be brought down to its Focus Sash here. Yep. Alright, so let's see what comes in. I mean, we're still taking a ton of damage from Moonblast, and if there's something like that Charizard in the back, obviously that's doing a lot of damage to us as well. It's actually Darmanitan coming in, okay. So what do you do here, right? Because I think the Conkeldurr can win with my Rotom here. Could just Rock Slide. I'm leaning towards not protecting with Duraludon here. I want to Steel Spike. And even though we're at -4, I think that actually still might be okay with Rotom here. And I actually want to Will-O-Wisp here, because Overheat's not knocking out. So let's see. You might go just for Superpower. Alright, it's just Moonblasting. I mean, you have to double up on a Duraludon if you want to knock it out here. That is Superpowering, okay. Oh, into Rotom. Oh my. That's got to be banded then. But I think we just win now, right? Because Duraludon goes first. Steel Spike should knock out the Darmanitan. And then if Will-O-Wisp connects, it should just knock out the Whimsicott. Yeah. That's why I felt like I felt pretty safe here, where it's like you have to double up with Superpower or / Icicle Crash and Moonblast to knock out Duraludon, but then we burn the Darmanitan, we get Conkeldurr in, and then Conkeldurr should be able to 1v3 effectively at that point, I think. Although I guess my opponent's last one could be the Dracovish. So let's see if it is. But that was fortunate that we ended up hanging on with just a little bit of help there with Rotom. Yeah, that was... I want to say that was banded. I mean, Whimsicott moved first too, so it wasn't Scarfed. So yeah, it was probably banded Darmanitan. Yeah. It looks like Dracovish was my opponent's last one, so I can understand why my opponent went for that play. Let's see, we're at +1 defense. That's probably Scarfed. We could still lose this, actually. This turn we have to call who does Dracovish target, and it's normally going to be Duraludon, so we could get Fancy and Max Guard, but the thing about that is we'll lose if they target down a Rotom. So I think it's better to just go for the Will-O-Wisp and the Wormwind. And if my opponent makes the read and targets Rotom, we'll just win by max Wormwinding. But they are going to make the correct call if it's just raining Duraludon. And we survive! Wow. That defense boost was huge. Nice. So, yeah, that's the nature of hyper offense versus hyper offense. In this case, neither of us actually got that Tailwind off, but ultimately, yeah, it came down to the Duraludons there. I'm assuming it was a speed tie, but if it wasn't, then, like, I'm fine with how everything played out, but I didn't like what I risked it basically on a speed type. But I don't know. Often if you're going up against super hyper offense, you need a better, like, this team probably could have been a little bit more equipped to deal with like those Whimsicott teams, especially when they have faster Pokemon like Scarf on something like Dracovish or Darmanitan. So yeah. All right, we're gonna find our third opponent of the day. Let's see what we are up against here. Pretty standard looking team, but a really offensive one and scary one at that. A lot of Pokemon I don't really like going up against here. So Tyranitar, Excadrill, Togekiss, Arcanine, Rotom, and the Gastrodon. So Tyranitar, Excadrill naturally is never a fun combination. Especially because in Best of 1 you have to play the guessing game of what Excadrill set it is. Was it Weakness Policy, Assault Vest, Life Orb, Focus Sash? There's so many variants. Gastrodon here is also actually a really big problem, I think. Wondering if I actually want to bring Snorlax here. But probably not. It doesn't match up super well against Dynamax Excadrill. I mean, we could go Togekiss Snorlax. No, that doesn't make sense, because then Excadrill, if it leads, just kind of demolishes that. I'm okay, honestly, going Whimsicott Duraludon. I think we always need Conkeldurr in the back here. And Rotom is probably the right fourth one. Yeah, something like Togekiss might honestly be better. Like, the Gastrodon really concerns me here next to the Excadrill. I don't think Snorlax is the right one, the right choice here, so it's between Rotom and Togekiss. What Rotom allows us to do is potentially burn the Excadrill, and after getting an attack decrease, that could be pretty good as well. Rotom also matches up pretty well against the opposing Togekiss. I guess I have enough for Gastrodon. So, with what Rotom allows me to do is also, it gives me a switch-ins, right? I mean, Togekiss, I guess, would also be able to switch it into a Max Quake fine. Yeah, I don't know. In a best of 1, I think both are honestly totally fine, but Rotom at least can also Will-O-Wisp, and also gives me super effective Overheat onto the opposing Rotom. So let's see what comes out. It is just T-Tar Excadrill, okay. I mean, what you're often doing here is you're Dynamaxing Excadrill, you're Max Quaking into Duraludon. And Tyranitar is doing whatever. So, we've got Rotom, which is obviously good for the Excadrill specifically. It's probably Max Speed Excadrill, so get the Max Quake off before we move. So we could protect Duraludon. We might want to Dynamax and protect it, so it doesn't get the special defense boost. Yeah, I'm actually going to Tailwind here just because Whimsicott might go down. And I'm actually going to Max Guard here because against Excadrill, we want to burn as many Dynamax turns as quickly as possible, basically. This might be Togekiss coming in, though. Oh, it's like Gastrodon, okay. We Dynamax first, so if Excadrill is not Dynamaxing here... I mean, if Excadrill is Dynamaxing it, we outspeed it, which would be a really big deal. That's often on the case with, like, admin Excadrill. Like, that's why I also ran Max Speed Duraludon, because sometimes Excadrills aren't Max Speed. So if they're not, it's actually a really big advantage that you get. So I'm Max Guarding here. I just don't want Excadrill to get that special defense boost, but looks like it is not Dynamaxing. Might just be an Iron Head then. Which would be a really smart play. Looks like it is, yeah. Okay, well, that is why we Tailwinded. I mean, this is still fine. This play covered every option effectively. So now we can bring in Conkeldurr, which matches up really well against everything my opponent's revealed so far. I mean, it's probably Max Quaking. Yeah, I mean, I want to just Drain Punch and Wormwind into Gastrodon. But Gastrodon could protect here, that's the thing. But I think you probably Dynamax Excadrill. I guess Gastrodon could Dynamax as well, but I would be fine with that. The big question is what my opponent's last Pokemon is. I think it's probably going to be Togekiss. And Excadrill switches out. Huh. Is that Togekiss coming in? Yeah, okay. So Gastrodon's gonna Dynamax. Smart. Very smart. Yeah, I think my opponent's played this perfectly so far for the first 2 turns. So Max Worm Winning is definitely not KOing us. It's probably gonna Max Quake us in return. We'll still have Tailwind up. We'll have Rotom. But, I mean, if we knock out the Togekiss, theoretically, Conkeldurr could 1v3 against my opponent's team. See how much this does. It's not bad damage at all. The Drain Punch is definitely not knocking out, and we're probably eating up a Max Quake onto Conkeldurr. Or sorry, onto Duraludon. That was a crit? Not even. Wow, that did so much damage. Ah, that was so close to knocking out. Yeah, we're going to get knocked out by Duraludon. Man, if I were Iron Fist there, that might have gotten the KO. That was a crit, but I don't think that mattered. My opponent just played this super well, I think. Okay. How we win this is if we manage to... You have to follow me with Togekiss here, I think. We've got Tailwind up. So we can pretty easily Thunderbolt Rock Slide, and I think we survive Max Geyser, although that Gastrodon honestly looks pretty offensive given how much damage it took from my attacks. So that might just knock out Rotom. But you have to follow me here, I think. So we're going to Rock Slide Thunderbolt, and we basically need to hope to survive Max Geyser. If we do, then Conkeldurr, like I said, could 1v3. The thing is, we need to knock out Togekiss here. And it has +1 special defense too, which is the problem. Maybe it's worth it for me to risk Drain Punching there, but I don't know. We might also survive Max Geyser. But there's the follow me. Yeah, that was expected. Okay. So let's see how much Thunderbolt and Rock Slide do. It's really good damage, actually. I mean, Rock Slide's not knocking out the Gastrodon there. Oh, so close, too. I'm sure it's Max Geyser. Oh, it's Max Quaking. Actually, that's smarter. Because you need all the damage you need onto Conkeldurr. I actually really like that play from my opponent. This is going to be a close finish now, though. I mean, we've got Conkeldurr and Rotom. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, the question is whether an Iron Head KOs us. It's the last turn of Tailwind, and there are 2 turns of Sand. So we get a double knockout this turn. I'm going to Drain Punch Gastrodon and Thunderbolt. You could also switch out Togekiss here into Excadrill, though, but I feel like that's kind of risky. It actually might have been better to have Thunderbolt and Drain Punch the Togekiss slot. Although I guess that means Gastrodon will get another Dynamax attack off, and we don't want that. I guess you could Rock Slide here, too. It's going to be a close one for sure. I think it favors our opponent, though. One cool play we could have potentially made was actually Drain Punching ourselves to heal back so we're not in Iron Head KO range, but that is definitely kind of a risky play. We could definitely pull this off, though, with Conkeldurr. And, okay, Gastrodon's going to Max Guard. Actually, that's fine, though, I think. Although the self-Drain Punch play I mentioned actually would have worked out quite well here. So the big question on what item is on the Excadrill. If it's not Life Orb, I'm not actually sure it knocks out the Conkeldurr. I think it needs to be Life Orb to do that. So we'll see. Because if you're not Life Orb, we can just Drain Punch and heal all the way back up. You bring in Excadrill here, I think, for sure. Yeah. Is there any way to win here, even if it... No, because we need Conkeldurr to beat the Tyranitar. So I think we always have to hope to survive with Drain Punch. If we survive with Conkeldurr, we win, basically. So we'll just Drain Punch and Overheat. So it comes down to what item Excadrill has here, I think. If it's Life Orb, we probably faint. There's the Iron Head. Okay. Yeah. It might not even need Life Orb to get that knockout, to be honest. Yeah, it looks like it didn't need it. Okay. I mean, yeah, in that position, there's nothing else we can do then. I guess we could Mach Punch and hope for a crit. But I think my opponent just played this really smartly. And I actually kind of wish I went for the self-Drain Punch play now, honestly, because that might have been enough to survive that Iron Head. And if we survive, then Conkeldurr just wins by Drain Punching everything in this game. So there was a really clever play we could have made, and I thought about it, but didn't push the trigger on that. And maybe we should have, honestly. I'm guessing it's Sash Excadrill then. So, yeah, I wasn't sure how much it would be doing to Conkeldurr. But I think my opponent just played this really smartly. They definitely brought all the right Pokemon and just played with it really well. Gastrodon hanging out with a little bit of HP was definitely a heartbreaker, but yeah, can't expect it to not hang on like that. Oh, it's actually Swords Dance. Interesting. That makes sense. I think Swords Dance is really strong next to Togekiss. And like that's what I meant. Like there's so many mind games you have to worry about. We actually don't get to figure out its item there too. So it's definitely not a Sylvest. Probably like bulky Swords Dance. So I wonder whether what the roll was there onto the Conkeldurr. Whether it was a guaranteed knockout with Iron Head or whether we had a chance of surviving. Either way, I think given how my opponent played the first 2 turns really well, I think those were really our only outs. That was a great turn 1 play by my opponent too. Like, if I just Tailwinded and Max Wormwinded into Tyranitar, we would get the knockout into Gastrodon probably, and get the attack decrease onto Excadrill. But that's a really risky play to make. I guess we can actually see the sets here. So, Focus Sash, Excadrill, yeah, okay. And he was Admin too, so Duraludon actually would have outsped, yeah. Bulky Gastrodon with Rindo Berry. So nothing too crazy here, definitely, but just an overall like strong, well-built team. And yeah, in a best of 3, like after, I mean, I wouldn't know how fast the Duraludon was relative to Excadrill, but because now it was Admin Excadrill, we could have just gone for Tailwind, Max Wormwind turn 1 into the Tyranitar slot, and that would have worked out pretty decently because you get the attack drop onto the Excadrill. So yeah, fun game though, and definitely some fun games overall today, so I hope you guys enjoyed. As always, if you did, please show your support by leaving a like. Thanks for watching, guys. Let me know what you want to see from me once we get to 100k subs, which should be very soon, and thanks for watching as always, guys. I'll see you soon. Peace.